Hi, friends. Yesterday in Vivaldi, Texas, and you've probably already heard about this, 19 young children between the ages of 7 and 9 and two teachers were shot by a deranged 18-year-old. They were killed by a deranged 18-year-old. There were 16 others that were injured. It's a tremendous tragedy of epic proportion. It's something that has plagued this country, and these are children who, anytime we lose a child, it's a tremendous loss. This is a exceptionally horrific and terrible thing that's happened. And I want you to know up front, any child that dies before the age of the ability and the cognizance to recognize who Jesus Christ was or that he loved them and died for them, if they aren't old enough to understand that, it's my belief that they go to heaven. From what I've been taught and shown, they go to heaven. You know, a baby that miscarriages, abortions, all of these aborted babies, they're all in heaven. They're all there. And so for whatever that is worth to the families who need our support and the community, I believe fully that those young people are in heaven right now because they were too young to make the decisions that need to be made in their life. What a horrible thing. But it leads us to question, okay, God, why would you allow things like this to happen, right? It frustrates all of us, saved or unsaved, Christian or non-believer. It doesn't matter. We both have questions. For a non-believer, it's verification that God doesn't exist. If he existed, he'd never let that happen. As if the belief in God, the acceptance of God, is somehow an insurance policy that nothing bad could ever happen to a Christian. What a joke. All you got to do is read the Bible. Look at what happened to the men and women who followed Christ. They were tortured, killed, mistreated, beaten, you name it. Jesus himself is a perfect example of what happened. So to turn around and say, well, he can't exist because he wouldn't allow these things to happen, doesn't wash. There's just no truth to that. But as Christians, we still want to know the same thing. I don't understand. Why would you allow that to happen? There's so much suffering in the world. Why would you create individuals who are predestined to sin and then ask them not to? Why not protect the kids and the believers? Well, the point is to both sides, that answer is the same. God is sovereign, all-knowing, perfect love, okay? To both sides, that's the truth, all right? He wants us to know that while he may appreciate our input, he is still God, and he will do as he sees fit, period. Isaiah 55, 8 through 11 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and the bread for the eater," 11, verse 11, "so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." Okay? So as a Christian, I have to accept that fact that whether I understand it or not, God is God. Life and death is in his hands, not mine. Oh yeah, we can take control, just like that deranged 18-year-old shooter did yesterday. But the bottom line is, God still has control, okay? And once Adam and Eve sinned, just like you and I sinned, all this evil, sickness, hypocrisy, violence, murder, all sin was allowed into the world. God had created a perfect world, and we messed it up. But he's still there. He's still in control, okay? But we still have the tendency to interject our opinion and personal value system into understanding the realm of God. Take cancer, for example. If somebody's dying for cancer, anybody that's dying for cancer is a horrible thing. And yet if it's a chain smoker who's 75 years old versus a 3-year-old child who has leukemia, most of us would say, Well, it's bad in both cases, but that chain smoker kind of brought that on themselves. But that 3-year-old really had nothing to do with it. We interject our personal values into how God should handle things, how he should act. And the bottom line is, we can't do that. God provides a way for everyone to be saved, okay? Life and death rests in his hands. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 18 through 20. For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it's the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, the intelligent I will frustrate. Where is the wise person? Where is the teacher of the law? Where is the philosopher of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? And look at what's going on. We think we're smart, we're enlightened, we're doing the great things. We're not doing so well, folks. For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength. I want you to hear that because that's important that you understand, okay? What I've learned about God that sums this up, number one, he loves us unconditionally. He will always forgive those who ask, no matter what the sin. Number two, he will use anything at his access to draw us to him, including things that we don't like, understand, or approve of. Because right now, whether you and I understand it or not, millions of people are seeking God. And that's the bottom line. He's most worried about your eternity, not your life on earth. He will take care of you on earth. He wants you to seek him, all those things. But bottom line, it's all geared towards his wants for your eternity. Third thing, he uses human choices as a wake-up call for all of us. We choose to seek him or deny him. We just got a wake-up call as a country and as individuals. Do we follow him and seek him and say, Lord, we need to make changes. We need to be with these people. We need to help. Or do we turn around and say, you can't exist because it shouldn't happen? Because that's the choice you get to make. He allows you that wake-up call to do that, and he will continue to do it until we recognize, number 4, that we were created to bring him glory, okay? So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. This shooting is another opportunity for us to seek him or deny him. Choose him. Share this with your friends, with anybody and everybody you can, because they need to hear this message. This is a wake-up call for Christians and non-Christians alike. This is a wake-up call for this country. Once again, how we treat each other, how we value or don't value life, and how we need to seek him. That he is there, he loves us dearly, and he's got us in the palm of his hand. But we have to understand that we cannot tell him how he needs to act. We'll never understand it. It's not designed for us to understand. It is designed, however, for us to get to him, to come to him. Please share this again, not for my benefit at all, but for everybody that needs to hear this. Your friends, your family, your co-workers, doesn't matter. Let them know what God is doing.